Hey, what's up? This is Sifu Kuttel, and in this Tai Chi Connection, the series where we look at the movements between the movements, we're going to be going from play the fiddle to a parry and punch technique. Now, I'm not going to follow through with the full parry and punch where we separate and press. We're just going to go up to the punch itself. But there's a couple of things I want you to pay attention in this. And really, the main thing is extending forward. So as we do this, don't think about withdrawing the hands. There's going to be a lot of details at different points where this is going to come into play. But this is the main theme that we want to adhere to throughout this transition. So let's get moving forward. So the idea here, as I mentioned before, is moving forward. Everything that we're going to be doing is pressing forward. And this even goes down to just the footwork itself. So as I'm starting from this position, I don't want to withdraw. I don't want to take too small of steps. I don't want to put myself back. I want to move in towards my opponent. I want to charge in here. Okay, so this is going to require some extra pivoting of your steps. Now, as I step forward, notice my toes are out to the sides, okay? That's hip hop and Tai Chi, okay? So, as I do this, if you get that reference, give me a like. I had to do it, I couldn't help it, all right? Now, as I do this, my toes are going to be pivoting out. The reason behind this is this sets me up for a bow stance if I need to. So, if I get caught up in the middle of this step and I can't go as far as I need to, I can commit to a bow stance here and change up the technique. However, I'm tracking down my opponent, I'm continuing to move forward, so the pivot is just going to set up for another step so that I can move in for that bow stance itself here. Okay, now that's more on a fighting or application level. The pivot out doesn't have to be super extreme. I don't have to be sideways here, but I just want to set myself up so that when I do step forward, I'm not on a tightrope with my toes pointing forward and I'm caught off balance. Okay, always a slight pivot on that back foot. Now, let's work on the hands. And this is really the key. This is where you want to keep your mind moving forward. Moving forward. Make that your mantra for this technique. Okay, so let's start from the play the fiddle position. Now, I'm going to extend this hand forward. Don't think of withdrawing. Don't think of taking your hand back behind you to do a big, huge, sweeping movement. This is where it's difficult. You want to think of almost punching straight out here as we do this first pivot, okay, and shift forward, all right? So from this position, I'm pivoting the toes and I'm extending forward. There's a slight curvature to the hand, so I'm not necessarily just going straight over the top like doing a punch, but I'm going to bring my hand in a slight curve around. You can think of this as a hammer fist rather than a straight punch. But don't think of it as a hammer fist where you're trying to chop the head off. You're thinking of hitting straight forward to the face with the bottom of your hand. Okay, that's the idea that you want to think of here. Okay, now applications are all different. This is something that helps me think it through, so remember that too. Okay, so from here, from this position, I go palm up. I'm going to think of like I'm punching forward here with that hand. My body starts shifting forward with it. I'm not going to withdraw. I'm not going to pull my hand back, and I'm not going to stay back as I do this. I'm going to shift forward as I do this. And then now the rest is like we've explained in other techniques when we talk about parry and punch. It's the direction of the hands. So as I move from here, I want to continue to move forward, especially keeping my front hand forward in the fist. The back hand will come back. It will go to the ears, but this hand does not scoop back. From this position, it's going to rotate in front. If it helps you to do this, think of like you're doing an outward block. Personally, I think that's a little of the wrong idea. I would rather use this in response to a grab than trying to block a punch, then control. But if it helps you, remember to keep your hand moving in the correct direction up, then think that, okay? So again, from here, my extension forward, my body comes forward, the hand stays forward. From here, the plane of motion is in front of my body this way. It does not go on the side of my body here. As the back hand comes up to the ear, then the hand can come down to the belly. Okay? So again, moving forward, everything forward, except for when we bring this hand back. Again, from our play the fiddle position, extending forward, keeping this hand forward, extend, parry, and then shift forward, good punch to the solar plexus at the end. Okay, using both the legs to press in, extending out, and punching, moving forward. It's a lot of talk, a lot of details. If you need to, jump back and go over it again, go over it a couple of times, practice it, come back, and you'll really get this technique down. You'll have more confidence, and you'll keep pressing forward, okay? Move forward like a river, like a tidal wave, all right? So from here, play the fiddle one more time. Pivot, extend forward, keeping that front fist forward, shift forward, toes come down, and then shift the whole body forward as you punch. Okay, so there you have it. I know there's a lot of details in this, but if you keep the idea of constantly pressing forward, constantly moving forward, rather than retreating, pulling the hand back, trying to move away from your opponent, you're going to have a better opportunity to have better structure and better technique, and in the end, better application. This can apply directly to your push hands. When somebody's trying to control your arm, you don't want to withdraw because that will bring your arm in towards the body and give them an opportunity to push you over. But also, it can set up for another technique where you can do a push from there. So you keep the bridge between you, you keep that barrier, you then control, and then you can follow up with a push. On a fighting application side, you can think of as they're moving in, either they're keeping their hands up or they're trying to probe and extend some punches. You can move in as they're extending these and stuff the distance. You don't give them a lot of room to get a lot of power so that you can set up and drive in your final strike. Okay, so if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button down below, and as always, be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.